And you know, the D850 is every bit as good of a camera right now in 2025 as it was when it first came out years ago. And when it first came out years ago, it was probably the best full frame landscape photography camera in the world. Hello, good morning. How you doing? It's Phil Thach, and I'm hiking on the trail that leads to the beautiful Greeter Falls here in Tennessee. This is, I think, my third time coming here. One time when I came here, I didn't make it all the way here because I hit a deer and totaled my car on the way here, so that was a terrible experience. But I made it here today without any car crashes, and I'm hiking my way to the waterfall. It's rained a ton over the last 2 days. I'm almost worried that there will be too much flow at this waterfall. Right now I'm walking on the trail, and the trail is a creek. I don't know if I can show that to you, but the trail is flowing with water, so that's a little worrisome. The last time I came to a waterfall and the trail had turned into a creek, it was one time when I went to Benton Falls, and there was just so much flow at that waterfall that I couldn't get close enough to it to take a picture. So hopefully that's not the case today. Today I'm going to be shooting with my Nikon D850. It's February of 2025. I don't know how long the D850 has been out, but it's been a long time. I think it's been out at least since 2016, maybe, something like that. And it's still a great camera. Possibly the very best option for a landscape photography camera. It actually has more dynamic range than the newer Z8 and Z9, which have the same size sensor, but those mirrorless cameras have the focusing system is also built into the sensor, and it kind of hurts their dynamic range a little. I mean, those cameras still have great dynamic range, but not as good as the D850. And you can get a D850 used for a pretty reasonable price now. You know, when they were new, they were $3,500, nearly $4,000. And now you can get, I think you can still buy a brand new one for $2,000, something like that. And used ones are less than that. So it's a great option for a absolute pro level landscape photography camera. Splash, splash, splash. Without all the cost of a brand new, newly, freshly designed camera. Also, you can get the lenses used. You know, the F-mount lenses have been around for a long, long time. And it's easy to find those lenses used for a reasonable price. So as soon as I make my way to the waterfall, I'll show it to you. Super beautiful. And I'm going to see what kind of photos I can make of it with this fantastic Nikon D850. The last time I came here, the trail went around this wonderful staircase that they've built. They were starting to work on it, but it wasn't completed, and it's really nice. It's wooden, but the steps are metal, and it is a nice addition to this trail. This trail also has a spiral staircase hanging off the edge of a cliff, so that's really something. I can see the creek or river now down below, and man, that thing is rocking and rolling. So this may be all for nothing. We'll see. Holy moly, that thing is flowing. I got a little ways further to go before I can see if I can make a shot. So now I'm on the side of the cliff, and right here in front of me is the famous Greeter Falls spiral staircase. This thing is literally just attached to the side of the cliff, and you take it down a little further. I made it down the spiral staircase, and right here is the waterfall, and it is really, really flowing. Holy cow. This thing is unbelievable. Look at that flow. I mean, it is rocking. I'm shooting with the 16 to 35 f4 f-mount lens, which I bought used to go on my used D850. And it's doing really well. From where I'm at, I'm up the hill. There's a set of stairs where you can go down to the bottom, and there is a little bit of dry land down there. I figured it'd be completely unfassable, but there is some dry land down there. My worry is if I go down there, I'm going to get tons and tons of mist off of that monster waterfall all over my front lens elements. But up here where I'm at, my front lens element is staying nice and dry. And you know, I normally like to shoot waterfalls at 1/2 a second, but this one's flowing too hard for that. So I'm shooting at 1/4 of a second, no filters. I'm at f10. This lens should be good and sharp at f10. And I've had to bump my ISO up to 200. Normally I would like to shoot with this camera at ISO 64, but at ISO 200 I can shoot at 1/4 of a second without overexposing any of that beautiful waterfall. Now, because of all the rain, the waterfall is not pure white. There is some color, there is some browns in it, but I think that helps tell the story of how much this thing is flowing. So I don't mind that there's some brown in it. Let's take a look at some of these shots from up here. Here's the first shot. And this is 24 millimeters and 1/4 of a second. This was at f10, and I moved the ISO up to 200 so I could shoot at 1/4 of a second without underexposing. Love the way this looks. Love the atmosphere, the mist here in the air, and there's more mist down here coming off the waterfall. This mist is coming off the waterfall that's just upstream from here, a smaller waterfall. I'll show it to you later in the video. But wow, look at that flow. Just beautiful. Okay, I've made it down the stairs, which you may be able to see over there. And I had to go around the back side of this boulder. The front side's just too treacherous. And over here, there is some dry land over there, but I can't quite get to it because this area right here would come up over my rain boots. So I've just set the tripod up right here on the boulder. And I'm making a shot still using with 16 to 35. I've topped it all the way down to f13. There's a lot of foreground in this shot. I'm focusing on the background near the waterfall, but there is a lot of foreground, and it's pretty much in focus. I'm still at ISO 200. I've sped my shutter speed up to 1/5 of a second from 1/4. And I don't know, this shot's pretty cool. This is the shot that I made with the tripod on top of the boulder. This is 27 millimeters, 1/4 of a second. I think I experimented also with 1/5 of a second, but I like the 1/4 of a second shot better from here. This is f13. I stopped it down to f13. I wanted to make sure that these rocks in the foreground were as close to in focus as possible while focusing back here. And this is ISO 200 to get the exposure right. I would rather shoot at ISO 64, but I couldn't shoot at 1/4 of a second at ISO 64 without underexposing. Now this shot is from the same place. This is from the top of that boulder, but now instead of being at 27 millimeters like I was on this shot, I'm wide open in terms of focal length at 16 millimeters with the 16 to 35 lens. This is 1/5 of a second, f13, and I made two shots. I made one exposing for the waterfall and the sky above the waterfall, and that shot was at ISO 100. And these trees, I love these trees, how they make leading lines. They were so desperately underexposed that I bumped the ISO all the way up to 500 and made another shot. And of course, that shot left this area here just completely overexposed. But I took those two images and I exposure blended them in Adobe Lightroom. And this is what I came out with. I didn't think this shot was going to be any good, and it ended up being the shot that I shared on social media before any of the rest. This 16 millimeter high dynamic range shot of high flow Gritter Falls. I scrambled over to the other side of the staircase. Climbing over all these roots right here was a bear. And I've got a composition set up. This is kind of directly below my first shot, which is way up at the top or halfway up the cliff. And I'm at 24 millimeters. No, I'm not. I'm at somewhere between 16 and 20 millimeters, 1/5 of a second f10. And believe it or not, I'm still not getting mist on my lens. You can see tons of mist blowing out, but it's not making it to me. The tricky part about this spot is I'm right under this cliff face and water's dripping on me like crazy. You can probably see water all over the camera. I really should have worn a top layer of a rain jacket, but maybe next time I'll be smart enough to think of that. Let's see how this shot comes out. In this shot, I was pushed back all the way against the wall that was behind me, and this is a 24mm shot at 1/5 of a second, f10 and ISO 100. There is a ton of mist in the air in this shot. You know, the mist and atmosphere were changing constantly, and this was about the most mist that I had in any of the shots, but I do like the way this turned out. Come down a little bit closer. I was kind of up there near where my camera bag is. I guess you can see my camera bag in this shot. And now I've moved down a little closer, and I made a 16mm shot. It kind of gets this whole area in, as well as the waterfall, and it's just mist everywhere. A lot of atmosphere, so hopefully that one will come out pretty cool. Now on this shot, I had moved up just a few feet and climbed over a log to get to this vantage point, and instead of shooting at 24mm like I did on this shot, I opened the lens all the way up to 16mm, got a much wider shot, which allowed me to get these boulders in the foreground, which I liked. But because I moved further and climbed over a log, I don't have that ugly log in the shot that would have been in the previous shot if I had shot it wide like this. I love the crazy plunge pool waves. This water is really, really rough down here. And this shot has this boulder poking out of the water, which I really like. And of course the atmosphere. And I love the way these trees look in the mist. Just thrilled with the day that I had. This is 1/5 of a second, f10, ISO 64 on this one. I left the area that is below Greeter Falls, and I've come up to what's called Upper Greeter Falls, but I'm actually above Upper Greeter Falls. There's the water runs off right here. That's Upper Greeter Falls, and then it goes flat for a little while, and then it goes into the Greeter Falls that we just saw. But what I think is pretty is this area right here. So I'm going to see if I can frame up a composition of this. This spot has great atmosphere, and I like the trees that are around this little fall or cascade or whatever this thing is. I like the way the mist that's floating around these trees looks in this beautiful area. So far I've used my 16-35 for every shot today. This has been a good purchase. I bought it used for Murphy camera, and I'm really enjoying it. This is the area above Upper Greeter Falls, and I made a number of shots at various focal lengths of this area, but this one is the one that I liked enough to share with you. This is 32mm, so almost zoomed all the way in on the 16-35. This is 1/5 of a second, f10, and ISO 64, and I really wanted to capture this area and this area over here, and when I did the wider shots, these two areas that I liked so much seem to be less part of the photo, and now they seem to be the most important part of the photo. But I also like the way this water looks rushing by in the foreground, and these trees with the mist all around them giving lots of atmosphere and depth. So happy that I decided to go to the area above Upper Greeter Falls. I've come back down the trail just a little bit. That right there is the top of the big Greeter Falls, and right over here is what's called Upper Greeter Falls. And I wasn't going to make a picture of it because I was struggling to just look at it with my eyes and find a composition. And then I pulled out my cell phone. I had my camera all packed up. I pulled out my cell phone and I framed something up with my cell phone. I said, well, you know what? That looks pretty good. So I made a shot from here, and let's look at that. Now this is the shot that I almost didn't make. As a matter of fact, I was about to leave when I changed my mind and decided to make this shot. This is Upper Greeter Falls. This is 20mm. This is 1/6 of a second, f10, and ISO 64. You can see the mist in the air in the area above Upper Greeter Falls that I photographed earlier, and you can see Upper Greeter Falls making mist, and this mist will be the mist that's over the top of the large Greater Falls that most of the shots in this video are of. That was a lot of fun. I'm hiking my way out of here now, but boy, that was really something. I've never seen flow like that at this waterfall. It was really cool. And you know, the D850 is every bit as good of a camera right now in 2025 as it was when it first came out years ago. And when it first came out years ago, it was probably the best full-frame landscape photography camera in the world. The only thing that hurts it now is I think the Z series cameras probably have better lenses, a little sharper lenses, a little more clinical lenses. But even this lens that's kind of known for not being all that great, the 16 to 35, why don't you stop it down to f8 or so? It looks fantastic. So I hope you enjoyed today's content. If you did, hit the thumbs up button, that helps me out a lot. And if you want to see some more stuff like this, subscribe and hit the notification bell. And as always, I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.